We've been reporting for months that banks lend relatively little money to the largely minority population that lives below I-30 in Dallas. Recently, we suggested a solution, and it's quickly gaining traction.
I see this as an equity issue for sure.
The idea is called a responsible banking ordinance, and here's how it works. You may not realize it, but local governments keep your tax dollars in banks, the same banks you and I use. An ordinance like this would require a local government to evaluate how well a bank serves all of its citizens, from high to low income. Jaime Resendez is a Dallas council member. He represents the Pleasant Grove area below I-30.
I can't imagine much opposition, if any, from at the council level. So I'm very interested in moving forward and exploring the possibility of a responsible banking ordinance.
Resendez says he's working through the details with Dallas's city manager and city attorney. And in a statement, the city's chief financial officer writes, the city of Dallas supports responsible banking practices that ensure investment in all areas of the city, and we look forward to increasing our work with our banks to achieve these goals. We are considering whether to pursue an ordinance and are examining all of the related issues.
If an ordinance like this is feasible, then it's long overdue here in the city of Dallas.
No local governments in North Texas have a policy like this, but 13 cities around the country do have some form of a responsible banking ordinance. In theory, the idea works because local governments are good bank customers, and that gives them leverage. Between the city of Dallas, Dallas County, Parkland, and Dallas ISD, they deposit $917 million in taxpayer money into banks like Bank of America, Chase, and Bank of New York Mellon. Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins also supports a responsible banking ordinance. He says depending on the time of the year, deposits may be well over $1 billion.
Do you feel like you have leverage as a depositor in a bank as Dallas County?
I think we do. I talked to some people with Goldman Sachs, and they confirmed that $1 billion will get people's attention.
So how does it work? Well, banks are required to submit loan data that shows how much they lend and what neighborhoods they lend in, and a reinvestment plan that sets targets for future lending. Local governments create an oversight body to evaluate banks, publish findings, and hold community hearings. Jenkins says he's organizing leaders from around the county, city, Parkland, the Community College District, and Dallas ISD to work on a solution.
If banks know that there are certain metrics that a large group of taxing authorities are looking at, and those metrics deal with more lending to people of color, to small businesses south of 30, to groups that have been shut out of the process, I think that's going to have a good effect.
It had a good effect in Philadelphia, which has one of these ordinances. Between 2008 and 2018, the banks Philadelphia chose to make deposits with became more active lenders, increasing their share of business loans by 18% in low-income census tracts. And leaders in North Texas are starting to believe the same thing is possible here. I'm David Schechter reporting.